The Boston area has a reputation as a cycling hotspot. Last year, Bicycling magazine lists of America's best bike cities ranked Boston 17th and Cambridge 8th. But lately, tensions between drivers and cyclists have been rising. Last week in Boston, someone who apparently wanted a bike lane along the Congress Street Bridge decided to draw one themselves, as captured on Twitter by Mike Blackwell. The city responded swiftly, but over in neighboring Cambridge, a new officially sanctioned bike lane cheered by cycling enthusiasts is getting about as warm of a welcome as that chalk outline from other locals. Adam Riley has more.
At first glance, the stretch of Cambridge Street west of Inman Square looks like a case study in how bikes, cars, and pedestrians can peacefully coexist. But things aren't quite as harmonious as they seem.
These bicycle lanes, the way they're designed right now, they aren't designed well.
Robert Skandarian is a pharmacist who owns Skandarian Apothecary. He says Cambridge rolled out these dedicated bike lanes without thinking about local businesses.
They reduced the 15 or 20 parking spaces in this two-block area to 3. It's actually pushed my business down probably about 15 or 20%.
Not that he's opposed to new bike infrastructure, Skandarian says, but it needs to be done right. And in this case, it wasn't.
You got to spend millions of dollars. Okay, you got to reset curbs. You got to move bump outs. You got to make more space in the street for the travel lanes. And the city doesn't want to do that. The goal here was to do it now and do it fast.
But where Skandarian sees poor urban planning, others see a change that's long overdue.
Every other day on average, according to data from the Cambridge Police Department, a bicyclist is hit by a car. It's crazy.
Nate Fillmore is a co-founder of the group Cambridge Bicycle Safety, which launched last year after Amanda Phillips was killed while cycling in Inman Square. He thinks the wisdom of these new bike lanes and another on Brattle Street is indisputable.
The type of bike lanes that the city has been putting in here are of a sort that has been proven again and again around the world to make a huge impact on reducing the incidence and severity of bike crashes with cars.
And Fillmore says Cambridge voters agree, noting that almost every winning city council candidate backed his group's call for 4 new miles of bike lanes every year. Concerns like Skandarian's should be considered, Fillmore adds, but ultimately
we have an unbalanced system which is heavily weighted in favor of cars. And so when we make changes to make things safer for other constituencies, there will be trade-offs.
But Robert Skandarian isn't convinced there's been a net gain in safety at all.
The road is already so very narrow, and when you have large vehicles, delivery vehicles, trying to pass each other, and then you have an emergency vehicle trying to get by at the same time, it creates a lot of conflicts.
To which Cambridge Mayor Denise Simmons says, let's all take a deep breath.
We need to bring our best thinking and damp down our passion a little bit, because when everyone's talking loud and screaming, no one's listening.
Simmons is also a city councilor, and she supports Cambridge Bike Safety's platform. But she calls the new bike lanes the right thing done the wrong way, especially Brattle Street, where bikes now travel in 2 directions while cars go in 1.
We had people not understanding should you go right or left. One of my seniors, 90-plus-year-old man, gets struck in the lane because he can't figure out which way the traffic is going.
Moving forward, Simmons says the city has to do a better job balancing a range of competing interests, and so do Cambridge residents.
We're not going to all be kumbaya on this. Cyclists have to accommodate me as a pedestrian and a motorist. I have to, as a motorist, have to accommodate the cyclists, and we all have to learn to be more mindful.
It's a big job.
It's a huge job, but we'll get there.
Which might mean learning to coexist street by street. Adam Riley, WGBH News.
Some of the parking on Cambridge Street was restored after people complained. Additionally, that claim that a cyclist is hit by a car every other day in Cambridge may be a bit on the high side. A recent analysis by the Cambridge PD found there are about 160 crashes involving cars and bikes every year. Same analysis found the bike crash rate has declined since 2010, but also that the city's overall incidence of crashes requiring EMS transport is on the rise.